Well, hello there, welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh video. The video I made before this last time was a Speedroid deck profile. I highly recommend you watching that video because that video I basically talk about the theory behind the deck, and this video I'm actually going to talk about the actual combo of the Speedroid deck. Again, the main thing about this deck is you want to summon your Cosmic Blazar Dragon. You also have options of summoning other Wind Synchro monsters, but this deck makes it so that you can summon Cosmic Blazar Dragon super easy. And I'm going to be talking about that, because I'm going to be actually talking about the effects and how you play it. And also, sorry for the condition of my hand. That's why I'm wearing a drawing glove. You can see the conditions on my fingers aren't really good. My ring finger, pinky finger, even worse. But before we even get into the current Speedroid combo, we're going to take a little course of history. Speedroid history. When Speedroid first came out, literally none of these cards existed. All these extra deck cards that are part of the current combo, or at least my current combo. I'm sure there's other combos that you can do, but this is just my combo that I use. These didn't exist when Speedroid first came out. And because of that, the combo looked very different before. So, also, before when Speedroid first came out, Terrortop was at 3. Terrortop was at 3. This was before Phantom Knights was like really popped off and became a really meta deck. And so Speedroid being at 3, Terrortop being at 3 made it so that this combo was a lot more consistent. And it's pretty important to have Speedroid, because you need Speedroid Terrortop in this combo to make it work. We're also using Synchro for this combo. So here's the first combo. This combo, it does still work, but like, why are you gonna use Synchro? And also Terrortop is at 1, so it's gonna be hard to draw a Terrortop. But you could with Speedroid Scratch. Okay, anyways. Turn 1, you special summon Terrortop. Hope that your opponent doesn't have negations or anything. Special on Terrortop. What does Terrortop do? Oh, do you search for Taketomborg? No, you're wrong. You don't search for Taketomborg. You actually search for Red-Eye Dice. And then you normal summon Red-Eye Dice. Again, you special summon this card so you can normal summon Red-Eye Dice. Red-Eye Dice, when you normal summon, it can change the level of another Speedroid monster. So because you special summon this and you search for this can change the level of your Terrortop between 1 to 6. You actually want to make it level 2. You make it level 2, you Synchro in Yoyo Defender. Oh yeah, you're using Yoyo Defender. Maybe you haven't seen this card, but you can special summon it because it's level 3. And then here's the effect you want. Once per turn, if all the monsters you control are Wario Synchro monsters, you can special summon Yoyo Defender from your extra deck. So you can special summon this card, and then you can special summon a Yoyo Defender, and then guess what? This Yoyo Defender, you can special summon another Yoyo Defender. I don't have 3 Yoyo Defenders, so let's just say you have 3 Yoyo Defenders. So you have 3 Yoyo Defenders. What do you do now? You bust out your Synchro. You Synchro the Yoyo Defender that you special summon, or that you Synchro summon, I should say, into your Terrortop, and then your Tri-Eye Dice. Not your Tri-Eye Dice, your Red-Eye Dice. And then you summon your Red-Eye Dice. You target Terrortop, make it level 5. So we're making it level 5. I guess I can move this dice and then have another Yoyo Defender. And then now it's level 5. You Synchro summon these two into Coral Dragon. This is a 6, by the way. This monster logo is a 6. I don't know what happened to my Coral Dragon. I don't have a Coral Dragon. Coral Dragon is a level 6 Synchro monster, and it's a tuner. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? A level 6 Synchro tuner, a level 3 Synchro normal non-tuner, a level 3 Synchro non-normal monster. You take those 3 cards, you Synchro into shooting Quasar Dragon. Yeah, if you've noticed, you actually summon a... Again, Blazar didn't exist. Quasar did not exist back then. But also, notice that this combo, you did not use Taketomborg's effect. If you use Taketomborg's effect, you attribute it to special summon a Wind Tuner monster from your deck, or Speedroid Tuner monster from your deck. You cannot special summon Wind monster for the rest of the turn. However, this combo, you technically can special summon non-Wind monsters from your extra deck. So you're summoning shooting Quasar Dragon. Shooting Quasar Dragon sucks because it negates, but it can easily be destroyed. So yeah, this card kind of sucks in my opinion. But anyways, that was the old combo. Alright, fast forward a little bit. Link format happened, and Speedroid got a Link monster, Rubber Band Shooter. This is where the combo actually begins. Rubber Band Shooter is a Link monster, and it has an effect where... Oh, first off, how do you summon Rubber Band Shooter? It only takes 2 Wind monsters. So a great, easy way to summon it, for example, Tetherwolf. Tetherwolf, when you normal summon it, you get a tuner. Alright. Where's my tuner? Oh, my tuner's over there! No! Hold up. You got a tuner. I flung the card and it did not land on the playmat. You get a tuner. It's a level 3 tuner. However, when you have Tetherwolf on board, it's actually a level 6 tuner. But, or I think it's a level 11 tuner. This card increases by the total level. Oh, okay, so your Tetherwolf becomes level 7. Your tuner is level 3. Anyways, doesn't really matter. You're going to be using into Rubber Band Shooter. Rubber Band Shooter effect is that it has 2 effects. During your main phase, immediately after this effect resolve, normal summon 1 Wind monster. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck from your return, except Synchro monsters. So, if you have this card on board, I normal summon Tetherwolf to get Rubber Band Shooter. I can use Rubber Band Shooter effect again to have an additional normal summon. Alright? That's really strong because you get an additional normal summon. Because most likely you're going to summon this card from normal summon. You're going to normal summon to summon this card. With this card's effect, it has a secondary effect where you can banish 1 Wind Synchro monster in your extra deck, reveal 2 Speedroid monsters with different names whose level total or add up to that Synchro monster that you banished from your extra deck. And then your opponent randomly picks 1, and then you send the other to the graveyard, and then the one that your opponent picks gets added to your hand. So the normal combo would be you banish a level 7 Synchro monster. This is why I said you have to play multiple level 7 Synchro monsters. So you can pick whatever. Let's say you want to banish Ignister, Pegasus. You banish that card, and then you look through your deck for Speedroid cards that add up to level 7. So usually what you want to pick up is a Yoyo and a Terrortop. See? This is how you get Terrortop. And then you want to summon, and you also want double Yoyo. The reason why double Yoyo is good is because when a normal summon, you can target 1 level 3 or lower Speedroid monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Alright, so there you go. No matter what, you will always be able to summon Terrortop. Okay? So your opponent randomly picks 1. So this is where Speedroid gets very interesting. It's because 50% of the times you have an extra monster on board. If you pick these 2 cards. Speedroid, the way to think about it, you have to think about it in 2 ways. You have 2 lines. Depending on which card gets chosen, your opponent picks, but really you can just be like, okay, so high or low. High, Terrortop, low dice, or Yoyo. Okay, high, Terrortop. Okay, so I would have gone Terrortop, and this gets sent to the graveyard. Right? It doesn't need to be your opponent randomly chooses. But this is where the combo starts. Let's start by adding Terrortop to hand and discarding double Yoyo. Let's say double Yoyo goes to the graveyard, and then you get Terrortop into your hand. That's fine. I've already normal summoned this turn, and I can't special summon Terrortop because I have to control no monsters. However, I can use Rubber Band Shooter's effect to immediately normal summon Terrortop. Now I can only special summon Synchro monsters from the extra deck. Alright, so no Mecha Phantom Beast. You know that Mecha Phantom Beast card that can summon tokens? Can't summon that card anymore. And I cannot summon like another Rubber Band Shooter. Anyways, I normal summon Terrortop. Then Terrortop, I search for Taketomborg. Taketomborg's effect, when I control Wind Monster, I can special summon this card from my hand. I special summon this card, send it, I tribute it, and then I can just summon another Speedroid monster from my hand. Or from the deck, I should say. Probably what you want to do is you want to summon a Red-Eye Dice. Red-Eye Dice effect, you target Terrortop. And then you can Synchro with that. Now here's the thing. If this is all you had, you can't really do much. You make Terrortop level 6, you synchro, you might synchro into a clear wing. And that's as far as this combo goes. Really, back then, this was as far as you went. So you needed a speed recovery to go further. Let's say you use these two cards, you synchro summon into a clear wing. Now let's say you had a speed recovery. You could speed recovery and special summon back your dice, and then these two cards make a crystal wing. Alright, and then there you have a crystal wing. So that's not very good. Alright, like honestly, that's not very good. Now let's backtrack a little bit. And let's add the speed recovery back into our hand. Let's say, so basically what I'm saying, if you get Terrortop, you lose a monster, and it makes it so that your combos are not good. The current Speedroid combo takes this into account, but the previous Speedroid combo did not take this into account because we didn't have Corkscrewer. This time we don't have Corkscrewer, so we can't pop off with if we get Terrortop into our hand. So let's say you get double Yoyo into your hand. You get double Yoyo into your hand. Now Terrortop's in your graveyard. Terrortop in your graveyard. You can special summon it. And now you can go ahead, search Taketomborg, discard Taketomborg, get your dice. And now this is very important, alright? This is very important. This is a past combo. This combo still works, but it's not that good. So now you have this dice, Yoyo, Terrortop. So when you summon dice, here's what you do. You actually don't want to use its effect. This is very particular because you don't actually want to use Red Eye Dice effect. The reason why is you don't want to change this level 4 monster and you don't want to change this level 3 monster. Again, I'll get to it. With this, you're going to use dice and you're going to use double Yoyo. You're going to synchro for a level 5. You're going to synchro to a Hi-Goita. Hi-Goita is a level 5 Speedroid synchro monster. Alright? You special summon this. And now, again, you still have the speed recovery, alright? So now you're going to use the speed recovery here. You use speed recovery. And then you're going to special summon this Red Eye Dice. You're going to special summon this Red Eye Dice. I actually like special summoning in this monster zone. Again, this was when Link first came out and we got this Rubberband shooter. And so you can only special summon synchro monsters in the extra monster zones. So I special summon this into extra monster zone. I summon this Hi-Goita in the extra monster zone. It's very important that you keep these extra monster zones open. Because if you summon Terrortop in an extra monster zone, you can't actually complete this combo. You really need to make sure that you free up your extra monster zones. Or always put your tuner. If you want to be safe, you can also always put your tuner in the extra monster zone. Because you can always get rid of that tuner to synchro. So you summon your Tri-Eye Dice. Not your Tri-Eye Dice, your Red Eye Dice. You target Hi-Goita and you make Hi-Goita level 2. Alright, you make it level 2. And then you're going to synchro. Again, this is a past combo. So you synchro into Martial Metal Marcher. Notice that it's a wind monster. So it's a level 3 tuner, and when this is special summon, you can target one tuner in your graveyard, special summon in defense position, but its effect is negated. Okay, so you special summon Martial Metal Marcher in the extra monster zone. Its effect, you can special summon a monster from your graveyard. You can special summon a tuner monster in your graveyard in defense mode, but its effect is negated. So I special summon this Red Eye Dice in defense mode right here, and notice that its effect is negated. Alright, keep that in mind. Its effect is negated, so you can't target. Hi-Goita's effect, during either player's turn, you can tribute this. Oh, I'm sorry. That effect is useless. The secondary effect, if this card is in your graveyard and you control a Speedroid tuner monster, special summon this card. You have to special summon Hi-Goita right now. Because if you use up this dice, you will no longer have a Speedroid tuner, and thus you cannot special summon Hi-Goita. So this is the moment where you special summon Hi-Goita. And again, do not special summon Hi-Goita in an extra monster zone. In other words, the other extra monster zone that your Rubberband shooter had. No. Alright, so sorry about that. I had to like move things a little bit. But I was like saying, this is where you summon your Hi-Goita. So again, you either, because you have your Speedroid tuner right now. So I can either special summon it here or here, depending on where you put your rubber band shooter, right? Let's just put it here. Let's just say this is the right extra monster zone. So you put your Hi-Goita there. Now, with this dice and Speedroid Terrortop, again, it was very important that you didn't change Terrortop's level. Because now, level 1 and level 3, you can take these and Synchro summon. Oh, everything is like all weird now. You can take that and special summon Puzzle in your extra monster zone. Puzzle is a level 4 Speedroid monster. And essentially, at the end phase, if this was sent to your graveyard because of a special summon, it was special summon and sent there to the graveyard, you can target one Speedroid monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So essentially, after that, you have your level 5, your level 3, and your level 4. That equals to level 12. Your Metal Marcher is a tuner, and so level 12 Synchro monster, you can go ahead and special summon Blazar, Cosmic Blazar Dragon. Again, it needs to be an extra monster zone because of this. It's during this game ruling, and there you go. That's your Cosmic Blazar combo. And then notice at the end of the turn, you have Puzzle's effect, where you get to add a double Yo-Yo back into your hand. So this turn, what did we use? We used a Tetherwolf, and we used a Speed Recovery. We only used 2 cards, and we were able to get a Blazar, a Rubber Band Shooter, and we have a double Yo-Yo in hand. Next turn, we can use Speed Recovery's effect, where we can banish this card and target one Speedroid monster in our graveyard added to your hand. So technically, next turn, we can use double Yo-Yo, and then special summon another monster, and then you can use Speed Recovery to take back the double Yo-Yo after you've used it, and then you can keep on doing stuff with it. So again, with 2 cards, you can get a double Yo-Yo. However, notice that this was only 50% of the times. It all started with the whole Terrortop double Yo-Yo thing. If you choose Terrortop, you can still summon Blazar. However, it would require another extension, for example. It would require, let's say, for example, you had, let's say, for example, you start with red-haired horse, and then you start with, red-haired horse and Tetherwolf and Speed Recovery. Alright, let's say this is what you started off with. This is a Blazar with that combo, because what you do is you get your Tetherwolf, you get your tuner, you special summon your red-haired horse, and now you use these 2 as your link targets. So you link with these 2, you get your Rubber Band Shooter, and now it doesn't matter if you get Terrortop or double Yo-Yo. If you get double Yo-Yo, you can still get Terrortop. Again, you probably don't want Terrortop in your extra monster zone. And then you can still do the whole combo. And then at the end of the combo, you'll just have a Tetherwolf on board. However, if you did not get double Yo-Yo, but you got Terrortop added to your hand, you can still normal summon the Terrortop. Again, you can summon it there. And then get your Taketomborg. And then trade it for the Red Eye Dice. And then you use the Tetherwolf and Red Eye Dice to do your Hi-Goita. And then you have your Speed Recovery. Again, you have your Speed Recovery. You can summon the Red Eye Dice, Hi-Goita Red Eye Dice into Metal Marcher. And then Metal Marcher summon Dice. Then you summon Hi-Goita. And then these 2, you can get Puzzle. And then you can get Blazar. So basically what I'm trying to say is the combo before, you needed, not only did you need a tuner from the Speed Recovery, but you need an extra monster. And that extra monster, 1, comes from your Rubber Band Shooter hitting the Yo-Yo, or 2, you having another monster on board. This could be, literally, you could have 2 Speed Recoveries. Or again, this doesn't need to be a Speed Recovery. It could be a World Legacy, Succession, Monster Reborn, whatever. And then you use the World Legacy Succession to special summon the Yo-Yo that would be missing from the combo. So that was the Speedroid, how to summon a Cosmic Blazar Dragon during the beginnings of Link format when you didn't have Corkscrewer and you instead had Metal Marcher. You could still do the combo, but you just have to be careful where you place your monsters, as well as you need extra extenders to be able to get your, not extenders, but you need extra monsters essentially to make sure that you have enough pieces to make your Cosmic Blazar Dragon. Alright, so after we talked about the history and at least how some work, it's important to learn the history just because well, not really, it's not really important to learn the history. However, it's important that you watch my history lesson, and because it's important because I talked about the effects of some of the monsters. And so now it should be pretty simple of how it works. Alright? So now all of a sudden you no longer need that extra monster. This, as long as you have a way to get the Link monster and any card that can special summon something from the graveyard, not you, the wheel, but any card that special something from the graveyard, now all of a sudden it's possible to do Blazar. So essentially with this hand right here, again, I'll just redo the combo. You only need a way to get the Link monster, and you need a monster, and you need a way to special summon a dice from your graveyard. So here's the new combo. This is the new and current combo, right? You get your Tetherwolf, you get your token, and then immediately you go to the Link. You go to Link. Link, you do the whole combo. Let's just say I did not get lucky with the dice. I did not get lucky with the Yoyo. I should say I got the Terrortop instead. All right. So Terrortop added to my hand. Normal summon Terrortop. Search for Taketomborg. Special summon Taketomborg. Taketomborg effect. I attribute it to special summon Red Eye Dice. Now here. Oh yeah. By the way, when I get double Yoyo and Terrortop, I banish a level 7 Wind monster. So now I have Terrortop and dice. Here is where you can do this in two ways. I guess the previous combo you can do it in two ways, but this time you can do it in two ways. You can either Red Eye Dice, target Terrortop and make it level 2, or you can make it level 4. 2 or 4. It doesn't really matter, but depending on what you play against, it might matter. But usually what I do is I summon Higoita first. So I make Terrortop level 4. You special summon Higoita. Also, keep in mind, during this format, now it doesn't matter. You can synchro summon in non-extra monster zones. So now I can special summon Higoita instead of summoning him in these arrows. So yeah, that's just something to note. I personally, because of how I play this deck, I usually summon synchro monsters in the same lane as Rubberband Shooter. The reason why I do this is because my red Hared horse has more chances of living. So that's what I normally do. I normally synchro summon in the same zone as my Rubberband Shooter. But again, now it doesn't matter. You don't need to special summon in the zones. You can special summon anywhere you want. Again, it's a new game ruling. You can do that. So now I use my speed recovery. I special summon dice. When I special summon dice, I target Higoita and I make it level 2. Now I synchro summon, using Higoita and Red Eye Dice, I synchro summon Corkscrewer, or Cork Shooter. Now the reason why Cork Shooter is a new card and it's an incredibly powerful card is that it's a level 3 tuner, the same as the Metal Marcher. But this is the good effect. The second bullet point. If all monsters that were used to synchro summon this card were Speedroid monsters, and all are in the graveyard, so if you have if you're Dimensional Fissure or Macrocosmos, then you can't activate this effect. Special summon all of them. You cannot special summon monsters to turn you activate this effect except Wind monsters. So again, you did use Taketomborg's effect to begin with, so you can't special summon anything other than Wind monsters, so it doesn't matter. But you special summon this, and now you can re-special summon your Higoita and Red Eye Dice. Notice with the Metal Marcher, you can only special summon the tuner. With Metal Marcher, you only special summon the tuner. But now we don't no longer need this Metal Marcher. Instead, we can special summon both the tuner and the normal monster. This is important because last time we needed the double Yoyo, but now we do not need the double Yoyo. Also, when we special summon the red eye dice, its effect is not negated. That's very important because now you don't need to make sure that you have the right levels. You can just use this red eye dice to target Hi-Goita, make it level 3, alright? Make it level 3, summon Puzzle. Now, Hi-Goita's effect, since you have a Speedroid tuner, again, Corkscrew is good because, again, it's a Speedroid tuner. So now you don't need to have red eye dice to special summon Hi-Goita. You can have the shooter, the Corkscrew shooter, to special summon Hi-Goita. And now, Blazar. Again, in the same lane as the Rubberband shooter. Puzzle effect still triggers at the end of the turn, and then you get a Speedroid Yoyo back into your hand. So that's just the combo that you can use. Next turn, you have Speed Recovery. Also, you do have Hi-Goita next turn. So as long as you summon a tuner, you can also special summon Hi-Goita again. But as you see there, 2 cards, and then I can summon Yoyo. And that's 100% of the times. Now, let's say you got Yoyo in your starting hand. Or, I'm sorry, you got Yoyo when you use Terrortop's effect. Now, this is important, and I'm actually going to do it the other way this time. Again, this is still in my hand, so we'll put that there. Let's say I got double Yoyo. Alright, this is very important that you do it this way. Double Yoyo, you special summon Terrortop. Terrortop, you special summon Taketomborg. Taketomborg, you tribute it, you special summon Dice. Here, you don't want to use, you want to use Yoyo as cost or for synchro summoning. Because if you don't use Yoyo right now, it won't be in the graveyard. And so it's pretty important that you use Yoyo so you can send it to the graveyard. You could also use the Terrortop right now, and then it's just easier if you just use the Yoyo. So let's say I want to use the Yoyo right now. Again, you want it in your graveyard so you can pick it up later with Puzzle. So this time, I'm actually going to summon a Cork Shooter first. So I'm going to make Yoyo level 2. So I summon Cork Shooter. Cork Shooter's effect, I special summon back the Yoyo and Dice. Dice, I'm going to make Yoyo... okay, it's very... you have to be careful. I'm actually not going to use Dice effect at all. I'm going to use Dice and Yoyo once again to special summon Hi-Goita. Hi-Goita, I special summon. Now, the Speed Recovery comes back in. I special summon Dice. Again, if you summon Cork Shooter, if you summon Cork Shooter first, the combo is a bit different, but the outcome is still the same. You special summon the Dice, you target Hi-Goita, make it level 3, you synchro summon into Puzzle. Now you can use Hi-Goita's effect to special summon because you have the Cork Shooter, and now you can special summon the Blazar, and then still at the end phase you can get your Yoyo back. And there you go, you have your Terrortop. Alternatively, you could pick up your Cork Shooter, because I only run one of it in the extract, so you could pick the Cork Shooter back up. But there you go, that's the combo. You have this in your hand, and then you still have 3 other cards to play with in your hand, because all we used was the Tetherwolf and the Speed Recovery / Royal Legacy Succession / Monster Reborn. That is your basic Speedroid combo. Again, you just need a way of getting the Rubberband shooter, and then you just need a way of special summoning a red eye dice from your graveyard. So that's the very simple combo right there, that's the very simple combo right there. But there are many other ways that you can do the combo. However, I think this is a very important time where I want to talk about turn 2. Turn 2 is really important because, again, we have this double Yoyo in. Alright, so turn 2 is pretty important. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the combo you can do turn 2 with just the double Yoyo that you have in your hand. Obviously, you're going to be drawing for a turn, and you probably have other cards that you have in your hand from the previous turn, perhaps. And also, potentially, your Rubberband Shooter might be alive, so you can use the Rubberband Shooter effect again if it's still alive. Also, your second turn, if you make it to your second turn, your Cosmic Blazar Dragon would probably be in defense mode if you went first. If you went second, right, you might be attacking or whatever. But if you're going first, or if it's your turn, you haven't died yet. So that means you're able to successfully defend off your opponent without getting OTK. Probably your Cosmic Blazar Dragon, you know, depending on how you use it, you can use it to negate something important. You can, like for example, if you know there's a really good combo, you can negate the combo. Or if you're not sure what you're playing against, you can use Cosmic Blazar Dragon to negate anything that would threaten it, or just use it to end the battle phase if your opponent doesn't threaten it at all. But you will have it for the second turn, most likely, unless it got Kaiju. You would have it for the second turn, so you couldn't negate something, right? You have a something that your opponent needs to get through on your turn, most likely, right? But let's say you special summon it, or you had it in defense mode to begin with. It returns back in defense mode, right? So your turn starts and you summon your normal summon the double Yoyo that you got from last turn. You special summon Terrortop from your graveyard. Terrortop's effect happens. You search for Taketomborg. You special summon Taketomborg because they have a wind monster. Taketomborg effect, you tribute it. Again, this is your second Taketomborg, by the way. So if you have a Taketomborg in hand, or you use both last turn for some reason, you can't search for a Taketomborg. The combo, or part of the combo, can still work because you can still search for CardTurbo, but you won't get the secondary tuner. But let's say you could search for a Taketomborg. You search for it, you tribute it, you actually special summon Daiko Duke. This is good, is because when this is in your graveyard, you can banish it to special summon another tuner, and so basically you get another tuner from this. Having these three on board equals to level 10, because your Daiko Duke is the tuner. Level 10, here is where you summon your Baron, if you have him. Pretend this is a Baron. Yeah, this is really good, because now you have another negation, because your Baron will be a negation, and also because it's your second turn, your opponent has went, so if your opponent has cards, you can use this Baron to destroy, because Baron has an effect where you can destroy any card on your turn, so you can pop something, and that's pretty good. But notice you still have more things to do. You can banish Daiko Duke, or yeah, you can banish Daiko Duke, again, your Ignister, or like your level 7 Synchro monsters in the banish pile. You can special summon Corkshooter, which is a Synchro tuner, and because you have a Speedroid tuner on your field, you can summon Hi-Goita. Yes, you could summon Hi-Goita when you had Daiko Duke. Doesn't exactly matter when you do this, but again, you can only do it if you have a Speedroid tuner. Now you have a Synchro level 5 non-tuner and a Synchro tuner. That's level 3, and so you can go ahead and special summon Crystal Wing. You can special summon Crystal Wing, and so now you have another negation, monster negation. And again, that's it. That was from one resource in my hand, which was a double Yoyo from last turn, and from the Hi-Goita from graveyard, and from Terrortop in graveyard. And so obviously, seeing how all this works, a great card, if it gets banished, is Terrortop. If you're playing against this deck and you want to banish something, banishing Terrortop is very important. Banishing Hi-Goita or even the Red Eye Dice is pretty important too, because we did use this twice. Or we used it once, I should say. Keep in mind that we do have Speed Recovery, and we could banish Speed Recovery to add another card in hand. But again, this combo last turn could be done if you had World Legacy Succession, so I'm not even going to talk about what to do if you had Speed Recovery. But yeah, that's just very simple. From one normal summon and resource that you had last turn, you can summon a Baron, which is a negation and destruction, and you have Crystal Wing, which is really good at getting over any monster that's level 5 or getting over monsters with a lot of attack, I should say, and also just being a good monster effect negation. And also, this is game. Let's just say your Baron you didn't even have. It's just 4,000, 3,000, and for some reason you still had your Rubberband shooter at 1,000. Very often, 1,000, 4,000, 3,000, 8,000. A lot of times this wins games right here. Just these 3 cards and you attack for a game. But yeah, that's your simple turn 2 combos, and so pretty good. Alright, so now let's talk about, you're not always going to draw the perfect hand and you can get Cosmic Blazar Dragon. And sometimes you might draw a really good hand and you can do more than just a Cosmic Blazar Dragon. So I'm just going to go through a few examples that I noticed that happens pretty commonly and what you can do. Because the Cosmic Blazar Dragon requires you to special summon a extra tuner from, for example, Den and Daiko Duke, or for example, from a Speed Recovery. Let's say you have no access to another tuner, but you still have an access to the Link monster. If you just have Tetherwolf and you have no other way to special summon a tuner, you can still summon enough. You use Tetherwolf, you get the tuner, and then you special summon your Rubberband shooter. Rubberband shooter effect. Oops, I just dropped a bunch of stuff. Again, you get your Terrortop, you get your Yoyo, you get your Taketomborg, you get your dice. You know what I'm saying? You banish this, and then, you know, let's just say worst case scenario, you didn't get double Yoyo in hand. You got Terrortop in hand. You normal summon the Terrortop. You search for Taketomborg, tribute, get the red eye dice. Now what you can do is you can turn Terrortop level, because we can't summon Blazar. You want to target Terrortop, make it level 2. We're not summoning Hi-Goita actually. We're just summoning the Cork Shooter. You get the Cork Shooter. With Cork Shooter, you re-special summon Terrortop and dice. And now you could, for example, this is basically what you want. And now it just depends on what you want to do. There's a few things you can do, right? There's a few things you can do. You can target Terrortop, make it level 6, and then synchro summon into, for example, a level 7 Wind monster. And since you have a level 7, you have a level 10, you can actually just summon Crystal Clearwing. Crystal Clearwing is super good because it basically it's unaffected by monster effects. You have to be careful though, because it says once per turn when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can activate until the end phase is unaffected by your opponent monster card effect, and also gains attack. So it doesn't always have it. You need to trigger it. So there could be multiple chain links. So you can have if your opponent has 2 monsters that destroys this. So let's say something destroys this, and then you activate that effect, and then they have another monster that can destroy this. Then chain link happens, and this card actually gets destroyed. And also, it gains the attack point of that monster, but this monster can still be destroyed by battle. So let's say you negate a Cherry Blossom or something like that. This card gains 0 attack points, and now this card can be beaten by a monster that has over 3,000 attack points. So that effect, sometimes you want to be greedy and save it until your opponent has a monster that has a lot of attack, so you can get a lot of attack from it. Also, it can negate a spell or trap card. Once per turn, when a spell or trap card activates quick event, you can negate the activation and destroy it. So that's super strong too, because this is a negation. And it's a negation for a spell or trap card. So if your opponent has a spell or trap card that, in my opinion, usually what I do this for is when they have a spell or trap card that threatens the Crystal Clearwing, I will negate that. I won't just negate any spell or trap card. I usually negate something that threatens this. Because for the most part, most people, or a lot of decks, have a hard time destroying this monster because it's unaffected by monster effects, if you play it right. So this card, again, it's not as good as a Cosmic Blazar Dragon, but it's pretty strong. That being said, though, this doesn't need to be what you summon, right? You could always just summon something else. For example, you still have this. You can always summon a... you can target this. You could go ahead and summon the Hi-Goita, for example, by making Terrortop level 4. And then you can go into these two. You can go into Crystal Wing if you want to do that. You might, and then now you have this Hi-Goita, and you know you have it for next turn or something. But let's say you got you got the Yoyo trigger. You get the Yoyo trigger. You can normal summon Yoyo, again special summon Terrortop. We'll do whatever. Get your dice, and get your Cork Shooter, and then now you have multiple. Now you have 2 tuners and 2 monsters that you can play around with. And then again, the ratio, you could get like a fast dragon and a, you could get a fast dragon and a clear wing, for example. With these 2 being a level 7 and then these two being a level 7. You can get 2 of these. So there's multiple things that you can do if you don't have a rubber band, or you don't have a way to get Cosmic Blazar Dragon, but I usually like to go with the Crystal Clear Wing. While Speed Recovery and Monster Reborn and Royal Legacy Successions are basically very easy ways of getting another tuner to pop up to make your Blazar, Den and Daiko Duke is also another great card to be able to get your Blazar. If this card is in your hand, there's a lot of ways you can make it into a Blazar, and there's a bunch of cards that you can use to get Den and Daiko Duke to make Blazar. So for example, if you have Horde Stilts, which you run 2 of, and then Daiko Duke, which you run 3 of, this is a Blazar. So what you do is you normal summon, you get this, and then you link. And then you link, and then all that stuff happens. Basically, you get your Terrortop, and then you get your Cork Shooter. And then after you get your Cork Shooter, where is it? You get your Cork Shooter, and then you have 2 monsters. You have the Terrortop, and then the dice. Here, you can get that, and then you can summon the Higoita, right? And then when you summon the Higoita, you need another tuner. And this is where your Den and Daiko Duke comes in, because you can banish it from your graveyard to special summon the dice. And then the dice, you can target Higoita, make it level 3, get your puzzle, special summon Higoita because you have Cork Scooter, and then boom, you have Blazar Dragon, right? So that's one way of getting using the Den and Daiko Duke to get your Blazar Dragon. But there is another way, and it's called Speedroid Wheel. So I haven't mentioned this card yet, but this card is extremely powerful in the Speedroid deck. If you draw this card again, it's literally this card by itself, and of course another card because you need to discard a card for cost, is a 50% of the chance you get a Den and Daiko Duke. So basically, you roll a dice, and then you special summon from your deck Speedroid monsters that level equal to what you rolled. And if you can't, then you lose life points. But honestly, you probably for the most part can always trigger the Speedroid Wheels effect. So if you roll a 4, 5, or 6, so if you roll a 4, 5, or 6, you can always get Den and Daiko Duke and another monster. 1 being your dice, 2 being your marble machine, and 3 being Den Daiko Duke. So if you roll a 4, you special summon Den Daiko Duke dice. If you roll a 5, you summon Den Daiko Duke and the marble machine. If you roll a 6, mate, you summon 2 Den Daiko Dukes. And if you saw the last combo where I had Horse Stills and Den Daiko Duke, the same logic applies. You use these 2 cards, you summon Rubberband Shooter, then you go with your Terrortop combo until you get the Cork Shooter, you special summon 2 monsters, you get Higoita, and then you banish this Den and Daiko Duke to special summon the red eye dice that you would have from your Taketomborg, and then you can get Blazar like that. So with Speedroid Wheel by itself, you can get 50% of the times you can get Blazar, and guess what? You would have not used your normal summon because this special summon. So you literally don't even need to normal summon to get a Blazar. All you need is Speedroid Wheel and get 50% of the time. You would have to roll a 4, 5, or 6. Let's say you just roll a 3. Well, if you roll a 3, you probably always want to special summon Den and Daiko Duke. And again, you have 3 other cards in hand. The reason why I say 3 is because, again, Speedroid Wheel does cost 2 cards because you will be discarding a card. Okay? So I guess I should be showing it like this. A wheel and any card. Which, by the way, you could discard a Den and Daiko Duke to get in your graveyard because Den and Daiko Duke does special summon a Speedroid tuner from your graveyard or hand. So if you have... if you need to special summon something from your hand, you could special summon a red eye dice from your hand by discarding or whatever. But if you 50% of the times, or like if you roll a 3, which is I guess 18% of the times, or like 16, 17% of the times, you roll a 3, you get Den Daiko Duke, and then literally if you have any other Speedroid monster in your hand, you could get, well, maybe not Terrortop, but if you have like a tuner or you have another Den Daiko Duke, or if you have any other monster, you can normal summon it, and then boom, that's a Blazar. So yeah, Speedroid Wheel with any other Speedroid card or a lot of other Speedroid cards, even like Rubberband Plane, because you special summon this, you can special summon this, and then boom, that's a Blazar. Let's say you roll a 2 or a 1. Those are still doable. Because if you roll a 2, you can't get Den and Daiko Duke, but you can you can get 2 red eye dice, or you could get a I guess a marble machine. Which where is it? Where's my marble machine? I only run one of. Wait, where is is this my marble machine? This is my marble machine. What the heck? This could be a Raigeki or something. Yeah, you can special. If you roll a 2, you can get this or 2 dice. If you get 2 dice, heck, that right there is your rubber band shooter, right? So if you roll a 2, you can get 2 dice, or you can get a marble machine. And if you roll a 1, then you get 1 dice. Obviously, if rolling a 1 kind of sucks because all you get is a dice. But keep in mind, this is a special summon. So you have 3 more cards in your hand. You can always just normal summon, I don't know, let's say you had a horse stilts in your hand that you had no other monsters. So you can just summon a horse stilts, and then you can at least get a rubber band shooter and at least summon a crystal clearing if you wanted. So Speedroid Wheel is super strong is because, again, 50% of the times it's a Blazar without even needing to normal summon. So that's why having Speedroid Wheel, because it's one of the newer cards, having Speedroid Wheel as well as having Cork Shooter just makes the Blazar combo so much easier. There is one more combo I kind of want to talk about because it's a little bit different from a lot of these combos, and is what happens if you draw 2 Taketomborgs. This is a guaranteed Blazar. These are your only Taketomborgs in the deck, and usually you want to search these with their Terrortop. But let's say these are all you have. If you draw 2 of these, this is what you do to make Blazar. What you do is you normal summon one of them, then you special summon one of them. However, the special summon effect only happens once per turn. You can only special summon once per turn. However, the tribute effect, you can tribute discard special summon one Speedroid tuner. Also, you can also special summon for restaurant except wind monsters. That you can use as many times as you want. So what you could do, and you could tribute both of them for a Den. You want to tribute at least one of them for a Den and Daiko Duke. You don't technically need to tribute the other one, but you could. I guess I'm just gonna do it because I can. And I'll tribute the other one for a dice. So now we have a Den and Daiko Duke and a dice. All right. So now we link for the rubber band shooter. Rubber band shooter. Keep in mind that we don't have Taketomborg, so we don't even want to send a level 7, because usually we send a level 7 and we're targeting Yoyo and Taketomborg. Oh, I'm sorry, we're targeting Yoyo and Terrortop. But now we actually want to do level 6. Again, this is why we have the level 6 in our deck. We get rid of our level 6 Synchro, which again, the extra deck, even though that's what I have it, you can always change it with other wind monsters. You search for double Yoyo or Marble Machine. And it doesn't matter which one you get. Let's go with, it doesn't matter which one gets added to your hand. Let's say you get double Yoyo into your hand. Double Yoyo, you special summon the red eye dice, summon Cork Shooter, and then boom, that's your combo. You summon Cork Shooter, you get the 2 monsters back, you get these 2 back, you summon Hi-Goita, and then you banish your Den and Daiko Duke to special summon dice. Again, use that with Hi-Goita, special summon Puzzle, and then re-special summon the Hi-Goita, and then boom, is your Blazar. So that's how you get it with double Yoyo. Let's say you have Marble Machine instead. You special summon Marble Machine, and then you special summon, you normal summon Marble Machine with Rubber Band Shooter, and then you actually search for CardTurbo. You don't need to search for Taketomborg here because we have no more Taketomborgs, but you can summon CardTurbo because CardTurbo is still a tuner. You special summon CardTurbo, Marble Machine, you Synchro summon with these 2. You Synchro summon into the Hi-Goita, right? Keep in mind that your Marble Machine does not get sent to the graveyard. It gets sent to the top of your extra deck. Let's keep that in mind. And then your Hi-Goita, you can now use your Den and Daiko Duke to banish Red Eye Dice, or to banish itself. I'm sorry, the Den and Daiko Duke is banished. You special summon Red Eye Dice. Red Eye Dice targeting Hi-Goita, make it level 2. And then now, you can send them both for your Cork Shooter. Cork Shooter, Special Summon Higoita Red Eye Dice. Red Eye Dice targeting Higoita and make it level 3. Alright, get your puzzle. Special Summon Higoita back from his effect, and then boom, that's a Blazar. So that is another combo that you can do to get your Blazar. You don't necessarily need to search for Terrortop with Rubberband Shooter, depending on what you get. And that's an example where with just 2 Taketomborgs, you can get Blazar without needing to go through Terrortop at all. Alright, so I know what you guys want. I know what you want. You want me to test out some hands. Well, I'm here to test out some hands. Sometimes, or usually, I've played this enough. I played this deck enough times where I can look at a hand and be like, okay, I know what I'm getting out of this hand. Sometimes I don't exactly know what I'm getting, especially if my jaw is like incredibly good. Then I start to get a bit dizzy. But my hand is pretty bad, then I know exactly what I'm getting. And of course, I know a lot of my Blazar combos. So yeah, let's see what we get here. So let's that's not it. All right, let's see. I go first. I draw 5 cards. Just by looking at this hand, again, ideally these would be infinite impermanences. I do get a Blazar. I guarantee you a Blazar here. Again, like I mentioned, anytime you get a Tetherwolf or anytime you get a Link monster and a special summon from the graveyard effect, you can go ahead and get a Blazar. So looking at this hand, this is a Blazar, and that's all I can really do. 50% of the times, I will have an extra Terrortop on board, which is dangerous to keep on board just because your opponent can banish it. So generally speaking, I'd rather have the Terrortop not on board. I'd rather have the worst 50-50, because if Terrortop's in my graveyard, then it's more safe in my opinion than if it's on my board. But yeah, and then these would, ideally, you'd have infinite permanences, so you set them down. And then next turn, you actually have 2 double Yoyos, because keep in mind, you will have a double Yoyo in hand next turn. But yeah, just by looking at this hand, I can tell that, yeah, all I have is a Blazar. That's a Blazar hand right there. And I have some other cards, right? I had an extra Yoyo that I could use and the following turn, because I will be normal summoning the Mecha Phantom Beast Tetherwolf, right? And then I also have 2 hand traps, which could be infinite permanences or whatever they could be. Let's go ahead and look at another hand. So this hand is bad. This hand, as you see here, there's no way I could get a Tetherwolf, or there's no way I can get a Link monster. And so usually with a hand like this, I would probably set the Red Eye Dice and then pass turn, because that's all I could really do. I do have an Ash Blossom here, it seems like, so I could go ahead and negate something my opponent has. But that's pretty bad. Let's see if I would have went second. Yeah, if I would have went second, it would have been a lot better because we had Speedroid Wheel. But going first here, it seems that I just had a dice. The next turn is pretty good, because if the dice dies, and I mean, this technically would be my next draw unless my opponent does something that shuffles my deck. It's pretty good because let's say it didn't even have Speedroid Wheel, I can still double Yoyo and get the dice. Keep in mind that I do have another double Yoyo in hand. So what happens if you can't get double Yoyo? Oh, this is a good example. What happens if you can't get double Yoyo with a Rubberband Shooter and you already have it in your hand? Then in that case, what you do, let's just say I do this and I get the Rubberband Shooter. Personally, I would still ditch a level 7 Wind Monster. So I would ditch the level 7 Wind Monster. And because I have no Yoyos, I would actually have to use Horde Stilts. No, I have an even better idea. What am I talking about? I actually would ditch a level 6. The reason why I would ditch a level 6 or banish a level 6 is now I can get a Daiko Duke or a Terrortop. And if I get the Terrortop in graveyard, then I can special summon a Terrortop with double Yoyo and get more. I can get the Taketomborg and do that whole combo. Or if Daiko Duke gets sent to the graveyard and I get a Terrortop, I can normal summon Terrortop, do the combo, and now I have a Daiko Duke in my graveyard that I can banish and special summon a Red Eye Dice. So this is good because I already have a Red Eye Dice. And I will have another Red Eye Dice using Terrortop because I'll get Taketomborg and everything. But it is sometimes good to use to banish your level 6 monster and get a Terrortop or a Daiko Duke. especially if you have a double Yoyo in the equation in your hand, because having double Yoyo guarantees that you can special summon the Terrortop and activate its effect to get a Taketomborg. So if you already have one in hand, then technically you don't really need to search for another one using a Rubberband shooter. So that's a good example there. We go ahead. I can go ahead and talk about that because I did forget to mention that. Yeah, sometimes you don't want if you have double Yoyo in hand, you can get a little bit more creative with it, right? So for example, yeah, if you had double Yoyo in hand, and you have a and you had a Tetherwolf, right? If you have these two cards in hand, 50% of the times, what I just showed you there, 50% of the times, if you ditch your Den and Daiko into the graveyard, 50% of the times, these two cards is enough for one Blazar. The other 50% of the times, you will get your Den and Daiko added to your hand. And in that case, you would have, instead of extra tuner, you have extra monster on board. Or extra normal non-tuner monster on board, right? And in that case, you cannot get a Cosmic Blazar Dragon. So yeah, with that hand, 50% of the times, or with those two cards, I should say, 50% of the times you could get a Blazar, and 50% of the times you don't. And again, you're banishing the level 6, and then you're going to get Daiko Duke and Terrortop as your Rubberband shooter target. Alright, another hand. Oh, look, here we go. It's the same thing again. So, alright, actually, let me play out this hand. Because I literally can do the thing I just mentioned. And I have another World Legacy Succession. Alright, so actually, let me play this one out, because I could go pretty far with this. This equals this, and then this. I'm going to banish this. Banishing that, and then I can get the, like I mentioned, the Denden Daiko Duke and the, what did you call it? Terrortop. Let's just say I get the best possible case scenario, which is the Denden Daiko Duke. Well, not exactly the best case scenario, but what I think is really good is Denden Daiko Duke in grave, and then the Terrortop stays in my hand. Because I'd rather have the extra tuner in this situation. I have the extra tuner. I can normal summon Terrortop with Rubberband shooter's effect. Search for Taketomborg. And then with Taketomborg, I can special summon, get rid of it to get the dice. Keep in mind, these are what I have in my hand still. And then, I mean, you know the deal, right? I can get these two. I can get the Cork Shooter. And then with Cork Shooter, I re-special summon them. And then when I re-special summon them, I can go ahead and get the Higoita. And then with Higoita and then the Daiko Duke, I can banish the Den Daiko Duke. Or I can use the World Legacy Succession. But I get the dice back. I get Puzzle. Then I can special summon Higoita again. And then these three can get the Cosmic Blazar Dragon. And then now I still have extra resources in my hand, if you notice here. So I still have a Rubberband shooter and I still have a World Legacy Succession. So what I could do is when I special summon the Cosmic Blazar Dragon, I can go ahead and special summon the Rubberband shooter. A Rubberband plane, I should say, not shooter. And then I can use World Legacy Succession. And then I can special summon the Cork Shooter. Actually, hold up. I'm thinking of a way that I could actually have summon Crystal Wing. Alright, let me backtrack this actually. Alright, let me backtrack this a little bit. So I had the Rubberband shooter in hand, right? I had the Rubberband shooter in hand. The Den Daiko Duke was still in the grave. I had World Legacy Succession in hand. And then I had this stuff. So here's what you do instead. When you special summon, you normal summon Terrortop, you special summon the Taketomborg that you search for. When you special summon this, you can special summon the Rubberband plane as well at the same time here. Okay? And now you tribute this, you special summon the dice. Dice, you're going to be targeting, right? You're going to be targeting Terrortop. it doesn't matter. You're gonna make your cork shooter. Cork shooter, special summon Terrortop and Dice. Dice, now you're going to target the Rubberband shooter, making it level 4, and then you get your Hi-Goita, and now you can go ahead and banish your Daiko Duke, special summon Dice. Don't use this effect. You can special summon Puzzle, and then now you get Blazar. We're back at the same position, but notice that instead of using Hi-Goita to synchro summon into Puzzle or Cork Shooter, I use the Rubberband plane, to special summon. And so I technically have not used Hi-Goita's special summon effect yet. So now I can go ahead and use World Legacy Succession, special summon the Cork Shooter, and now Hi-Goita effect, because I control a Speedroid tuner monster on the field, I can special summon Hi-Goita, and then I can synchro summon into another monster, Crystal Wing. So this turn is more potent. Next turn, I still have the double Yoyo in my hand to be able to do out that full combo. And so what other card can I add to my hand this turn? I can add any Speedroid monster to my hand. I'm going to add, it doesn't really matter. You don't want to add Terrortop because you're going to be using Terrortop in next turn's combo. You don't want to add Hi-Goita. You don't want to add Cork Shooter because those are going to be used in next turn's combo. You also don't want to add Red Eye Dice because that's going to be used next turn combo. And so you can basically add any one of these 3 monsters. So yeah, turn 1, I got a... Again, I did it wrong. So notice how I had to redo it to make sure I played better. But now I have a play for next turn. While I can't summon another Crystal Wing because I only have 1, I can maybe summon a Crystal Clear Wing next turn. But there you go. That is kind of, that's a combo. And then I have 2 other cards in hand. This didn't need to be a, indeed. But also, we can also backtrack to see what happens if instead of getting the Daiko Duke into hand, I got Daiko Duke in hand and I got Terrortop in graveyard. In that case, it would be a little bit different. I don't think I would have gotten Crystal Wing from that, but I guess maybe I'll let the person watching this, you figure that out of what will happen if that was my hand instead, right? Maybe we can go 1 or 2 more hand tests to see. Very rarely you can get Blazar and Crystal Clearwing, but it is possible. And if you do get something like that, it's really good. Oh my goodness. This hand is a bit crazy. Okay. I'll definitely try to play out this hand because we have a bunch of things. We have a bunch of things. Alright, so I'm actually redoing this combo because I didn't like how I said it. Initially, I thought that you can get a Crystal Clearwing and a Blazar with this hand, but upon further inspection, it seems like you can really only get, I think, a Blazar and a Crystal Wing. So, again, this would be the same thing as a double Taketomborg combo that I mentioned earlier in the video. And then at the end, you would use 2 speed recoveries to special summon a Hi-Goita and a Cork Shooter, in which you can special summon the Crystal Wing, right? Well, we can go ahead and play that out still. Again, you normal summon, special summon one of them, and then you can go ahead and get your Daiko Duke and then get your Red Eye Dice. Those 2 would link. Linking, you would want to get rid of a level 6, banish that, and then you will get your Marble Machine and another double Yoyo. If you get the Marble Machine, you can go ahead and normal summon the Marble Machine and CardTurbo and special summon Hi-Goita. But if you get double Yoyo, you can normal summon double. If you get double Yoyo in hand, you normal summon double Yoyo, get the dice. So either way, if you get the Marble Machine, you have an extra CardTurbo in hand. But let's just say we did not get the Marble Machine in hand. We got engraved. We got double Yoyo. Normal summon double Yoyo. Get the dice. Special summon Hi-Goita. And then Daiko Duke banish. Get dice again. special summon Cork Shooter. We're using Hi-Goita, special summon both Hi-Goita and Dice back. Dice activates, go ahead and get Puzzle. Special summon Hi-Goita because you have Cork Shooter. Boom, that's a Blazar. And then you can go ahead and use the 2 speed recovery to special summon the Hi-Goita back and the Cork Shooter back. And then you can go ahead and special summon the Crystal Wing. I'm not sure if there is a combo. Oh, by the way, this is banished. You have a double yo-yo in your hand. At the end phase, you will be able to get another double yo-yo into your hand. And then next turn, you have 2 speed recoveries to activate and a Hi-Goita to activate as well. Keep in mind that you do not have another Taketomborg, so you cannot search for Taketomborg. And also, you don't have a Terrortop in graveyard as well. So keep in mind that your turn 2 combo will be a bit different because you do not have access to another Taketomborg and you don't have access to a Terrortop. But that's the combo. Honestly, there possibly might be a way where you can get a Crystal Clear Wing, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't think so. Again, I've been playing this deck for a while, and I mean, there potentially is a way that I am not exactly aware of with that hand in particular, but we'll see. I don't know. There might be a way. If there is a way and you're watching this video, you can comment that down below the sequencing, but I don't think it's possible to get a Crystal Clear Wing. Because a Crystal Clear Wing, you do need a Clear Wing Dragon. Or a Clear Fast Dragon. Alright, this hand is interesting. I like this. Oh, okay, it became less interesting with the introduction of Tetherwolf. With this hand, is quite interesting. Hey, I'll be honest, I was recording that and I got super confused because I didn't know what to do with that hand. But actually, hold up guys, I figured out a way where you can 100% of the time get Blazar with this hand. By the way, it was a Called by the Grave, which is the last card, didn't really matter. With this hand, alright? I figured it out. I was sitting there just looking at this hand and I just couldn't figure out how to get Blazar. Because I knew you could, but I just didn't know how to. But I figured it out. This Tetherwolf, unusable. Don't use it. This Called by the Grave, unusable. Well, I mean, obviously use it if you could. But all you need is these 3 cards. Alright, so how do you do this? You normal summon it. Because again, you might see the Tetherwolf and get confused that you can use the Tetherwolf just to get the Speedroid Rubberband shooter. But doing it this way could get you 100% of the time Blazar. Again, what's important is that there's this red eye dice in your hand. So get the Daiko Duke, get your Taketomborg, ditch the Taketomborg for another red eye dice. This does matter, by the way. And so you have the Daiko Duke, and then you have the dice, that's special summon. And then you can tribute those two, or you can link summon the Rubberband shooter. Now with the Rubberband shooter, what you want to do, instead of doing a level 7, which is what I was thinking about doing, you could go ahead and do a level 8. Alright? So you can ditch the Kitedrake. Now the Kitedrake here is you can get either, I'm going to put these back into the deck because they don't matter. With the Rubberband, Rubberband shooter, you get the Kitedrake, and then with the Kitedrake, you want a double yo-yo and horse stilts. Again, this takes advantage of the fact that we have a red eye dice in hand and a red eye dice in grave. Again, it's important to ditch the Taketomborg to get the red eye dice in grave. The reason why you want to do this is because if you get the double yo-yo in hand, again, this is in our hand. If you get the double yo-yo in hand, you can special summon the red eye dice, and then you can do the full combo with the Daiko Duke. Or if you get horse stilts in hand, you can and the yo-yo in graveyard, you can normal summon this and then special summon the dice in hand, and then still you have the same combo that you can do to get a Blazar, if that makes sense. And again, you don't want to search for You don't want to search for a Terrortop, because if you search for a Terrortop and get a Taketomborg, you cannot special summon a Taketomborg because you already special summoned Taketomborg in the beginning. So yeah, it doesn't really matter what you get here because no matter what, you can summon the Blazar. Again, let's just do the example with the horse stilts. Normal summon horse stilts, special summon the dice. From there, we can just go ahead and synchro with them without using the dice effect. To get the Hi-Goita, banish the Daiko Duke, get the dice. Change the Hi-Goita's level to 2, and then we can go ahead and use the Cork Shooter, special summon the Hi-Goita, and then the dice. change Hi-Goita level to 3. Go ahead and special summon your puzzle. After you special summon your puzzle, you can go ahead and special summon Hi-Goita because you have the cork shooter. And again, it would have been exactly the same thing too if you had double Yoyo. And then you can get these 3 into the Cosmic Blazar Dragon. All right, let's do one more hand. Let's do one more hand. Those last 2, I had to cut off camera because they were hard to think about. But got one more. Let's just see, or one more interesting one where like I'd have to think a little bit. All right. Oh gosh, this thing again. Okay. So this hand, immediately you have Horse Stilts and you have a CardTurbo. So you could just use these 2 to go ahead and get your Rubberband shooter, and you can go ahead and do the combo. But you have this extra Taketomborg in hand. So is there anything interesting you can do with this hand in particular? Let me think about it, because I don't think I'll be able to think and record this at the same time. Okay, it didn't take long to figure out, but I think you can 100% of the times get a, whatchamacallit, 100% of the time, I think you can get Blazar with this hand. And again, we don't care about these 2 cards, we only care about these 3 cards, okay? So, what you can do is you can go ahead and normal summon CardTurbo here. Yes, you're actually not normal summoning a Horse Stilts, you're actually normal summoning a CardTurbo, and then you special summon Taketomborg. Special summon Taketomborg, you tribute it to go ahead and special summon your Daiko Duke. Alright? These 2 targets you're going to be linking into Rubberband Shooter effect. Instead of doing a level 7, you will be doing a level 5 Chanbara. Or it doesn't need to be Chanbara, but any level 5 wind monster. Chanbara, you're going to be targeting double Yoyo and Red Eye Dice. From this point on, I think you can see where this is going. If I get the double Yoyo in hand and Red Eye Dice in the graveyard, I can normal summon this, special summon this, do my Synchro combo, and then I have the Daiko Duke to resummon the Red Eye Dice, and then I can get Blazar that way. Very similar to the last hand I had. If I get the dice added to my hand, well, again, I have Horse Stilts, so I can special summon dice. And then I can do the combo again. Again, next turn, I will not have Terrortop in my graveyard, so keep that in mind. So the second turn combo that I mentioned would be a little bit different. But yeah, this time I'm actually going to, let's say this was what I got. Again, really simple. Again, you special summon, you normal summon double Yoyo, special summon a dice. You go ahead and get your Hi-Goita or whatever. It doesn't really matter how you play this. And then you banish the Daiko Duke, get this back, change the level of Hi-Goita, get your cork shooter, re-special summon both of them, dice targeting Hi-Goita, make it level 3, get your puzzle, special summon Hi-Goita again, and then you get Blazar, Cosmic Blazar Dragon. So yes, with this hand, 100% of the time, or I guess these 3 cards, 100% of the time, you can get a Blazar. In fact, this CardTurbo can be more than just a CardTurbo. It could be a Yoyo. It could be multiple things. It could be multiple things that you can normal summon. So it doesn't. The CardTurbo isn't the only thing it can be, because we're just normal summoning this for a win target for Taketomborg, right? To special summon itself. And with the Horse Stilt in hand, we can guarantee special summon the dice if we add dice to hand. But if we add Yoyo to hand, we can special summon the dice. And of course, the Taketomborg is really good in his hand because you can ditch the, you can have a Daiko Duke in graveyard. All right, let's do one more. Let's do one more. I'm addicted to play test. We do one more. All right, let's do one more and we'll see how it goes. Just real quick, because I haven't gotten a Speedroid Wheel hand yet. All right, shuffle this a little bit more so I don't get Taketomborg, because we've been getting a lot. I only run 2 Taketomborgs, so we've been getting a lot of Taketomborgs. Let's draw a non-Taketomborg hand. Oh, perfect. We have a Terrortop in hand. This is a good one. All right. Let me think, because if I record it, then video editing gets hard. So let me cut here, and then I'll return back with what to do with this hand. All right. I looked at this hand, and I'm like, this hand has potential, And indeed, I was correct. This hand does have massive potential, and you could get both a Cosmic Blazar Dragon and a Crystal Clearwing from these 4 cards, and I'll show you how to do it. Cover Grave doesn't matter. Just these 4 cards. Alright, so what you do is you have to special summon Terrortop first when you have no cards on board, and then you get your Taketomborg. And then, I mean, again, all these combos is if there's no interruption. If there's an interruption, then combo's gone, but let's say you have no interruptions, right? Special summon Terrortop, you special summon your red-haired Hasty Horse, and then you can also normal summon your Daiko Duke. Normal summoning your Daiko Duke. Now, with your horse and Daiko Duke, you want to link into a Rubberband shooter. With the Rubberband shooter, you're going to ditch a level 6. Because we drew Terrortop, it makes it so that the combo needs to be different. It always is different because of Terrortop, but you can commonly still get Blazar with if you drew Terrortop, right? Because Terrortop is always a link monster because you can always special summon it and then combo off that. We're going to do a level 6 Wind Monster, and then our 2 targets are going to be Double Yoyo and Marble Machine. And depending on which one we get, that makes our combo a little bit different, but it doesn't matter which one we get because either one we get added to our hand, we'll still get a Blazar and a Crystal Clearwing. Let's say we get the Double Yoyo, we normal summon a Double Yoyo. Double Yoyo, when it's normal summon, you're going to special summon the Daiko Duke. You special summon Daiko Duke, you Synchro into a level 7. It needs to be a target for Crystal Clearwing. And so it needs to be a non-tuner Clearwing monster. So we're going to go ahead and use Clearwing Fast Dragon here. And now what we do is, if you notice, we can do the whole Blazar combo because we have a Daiko Duke and a Taketomborg, and then we have Speed Recovery left, and Speed Recovery we're going to special summon Cork Shooter and get the Crystal Clearwing. But I'll go ahead and show the combo anyways. Again, special summon Taketomborg, discard Taketomborg, or tribute Taketomborg I should say, get Dice and Terrortop, make Terrortop level 2, Cork Shooter special summon back to Taketomborg, and Dice make the Terrortop, the Cork Shooter special summon Red Eye Dice, and Terrortop make the Terrortop level 5, and then you get your Higoita, you're going to banish the Daiko Duke to go ahead and special summon the Speedroid Dice targeting Higoita, making it level 3. Get the puzzle. Higoita, you can special summon because you have the Cork Shooter, and then that's your Blazar right there. Speed Recovery, you're going to special summon Cork Shooter, and then with those two, you have the Crystal Clearwing. So that's the combo if you got the Yoyo into your hand. But let's say we did not get the Yoyo into our hand. Instead, we got the Marble Machine into our hand. Taketomborg still in our hand. These two are gone. This is still in the graveyard. Terrortop is still on board. This is our hand instead. So you get the Marble in hand. You normal summon it, use a Rubberband shooter effect. Marble Machine, you're going to special summon, or you're going to search for CardTurbo from your deck. You're going to special summon the CardTurbo, and now we are going to Synchro summon using the Marble Machine and CardTurbo into our Higoita here. Here, now we go ahead and use our Taketomborg from hand, special summon it, tribute it for a Red Eye Dice, targeting Higoita, make it level 2. Making it level 2, we have our, where is it? Cork Shooter. With Cork Shooter on board, we can re-special summon the Higoita and Dice. Dice targeting Higoita, making it level 3. We are going to put those Synchro summon, put those in the graveyard to Synchro summon our puzzle. Here we're going to use Higoita's effect to special summon itself because we have the Cork Shooter on our field. We get rid of these 3. We have ourselves our Blazar. Now, if you've noticed, we actually have not used our Denden Daiko Duke's effects. We can now use our Denden Daiko Duke's effect by banishing itself, and then we can special summon the dice. Dice targeting Terrortop, we can get the Fast Dragon or any Clear Wing Synchro monster. And now we can use our Speed Recovery here to special summon the Cork Shooter into the Crystal Clear Wing. And that's that. That's the combo. With this hand, again, it was Terrortop, it was Denden Daiko Duke, it was a horse, and it was Speed Recovery. With this hand, basically, you're always going to be able to get a Crystal Clear Wing and a Blazar. And then, of course, no matter what combo you do, you're always going to have, you might not have the CardTurbo in your graveyard, keep that in mind. But no matter what, you're always going to have the double Yoyo effect, or the puzzle effect, which adds double Yoyo into your hand. And then, of course, you're still going to have your Hi-Goita, and then you're still going to have your Terrortop in your graveyard. And you're going to have a Speed Recovery. It doesn't need to be Speed Recovery here. It could have been a Monster Reborn or a World Legacy Succession as well with this hand. But if you have Speed Recovery, you can use that next turn as well. But that's it. I think I'm going to end the video here. So thank you so much for watching if you actually watch all those combos. They do take a little bit of time to think. And of course, when I will record this video, I have to there's two ways the combos could go. Again, depending on the Rubberband shooter, how it goes. And whatever cards get added to your hand. There's a lot of ways the combos can go. So you really have to think about what you want to do beforehand. And of course, playing the deck a lot of times can make you get used to the combos. Of course, this video actually cut a lot of times just because I wanted to really think out the combo and explain it. But there you go. So thank you so much for watching. That was Speedroids, some Speedroid combos, and I guess hopefully that served useful. So thank you for watching once again.